The black Mercedes pulls up fast. Too fast. I barely have time to look up from my cardboard before the window rolls down. "Hey, homeless lady!" I know that voice. Everyone in this city knows that voice. Grant Morrison, CEO of Morrison Holdings. His face is on every billboard, every magazine cover. Millionaire Guy Grant, they call him. He's laughing, not a small laugh, a loud, cruel laugh that makes people on the sidewalk stop and stare. "Catch!" he yells. Something flies out of his window and lands right in front of me. A piece of paper. It skids across the wet concrete, and I have to scramble to grab it before the wind takes it. It's a check. A giant novelty check. The kind you see in lottery commercials. Paid to the order of nobody. Amount, $10 million. Signed, Santa Claus. "That should cover rent for the next decade," Grant shouts through his window. His friends in the car are dying with laughter. "Enjoy the payday, you homeless woman." The Mercedes speeds off. Tires screech. More laughter echoes down the street. I'm holding this stupid fake check. My hands are shaking, not from cold, from rage. But then I see it. Something else fell out with the check. A small card, thick plastic, corporate blue with gold trim. I pick it up slowly. Morrison Holdings, Grant Morrison, CEO, security clearance, level 5, all access. My heart stops. He has no idea what he just threw away. He thought it was funny, I whispered to myself, tucking the card into my coat. He thought I was nothing. He had no idea that the trash he just threw at me would end his career, his marriage, and his entire life as a millionaire. If you want to see how a homeless woman takes down a cruel CEO using nothing but her brain and his own arrogance, you need to keep watching until the end. Hit that like button right now and subscribe to the channel because this story is about to get shocking. My name is Shay Coleman. 3 years ago, I was a senior auditor at Patterson & Associates. I had a nice apartment, a car, savings. I was good at my job, really good. I could look at a company's books and find problems nobody else could see. Then my mom got sick. Cancer. Stage 4. The medical bills came fast. Insurance didn't cover half of it. I took out loans. I maxed out credit cards. I did everything a daughter is supposed to do. She died anyway. While I was at her funeral, my company's HR department sent me an email. They said I'd missed too many days. They said I was being let go, effective immediately. I tried to fight it. I called, I emailed, I showed up at the office. "Sorry, Shay," my manager said. He wouldn't even look at me. Policy is policy. But I knew the truth. 3 white guys in my department had taken more time off than me for golf trips and family vacations. They still had their jobs. The bills kept coming. The apartment went first, then the car, then everything else. Now I'm here, sitting on a street corner with a fake check and a real opportunity. I look at the security card again. Level 5 clearance, all access. I know I shouldn't. Using this card is probably illegal, definitely risky. But Grant Morrison just mocked me in front of dozens of people. He threw garbage at me like I wasn't even human. I spent my whole career finding the truth in numbers, finding the lies people hide in spreadsheets. And I just saw something on the news yesterday, something that made my auditor brain itch. CEO Grant Morrison announces $50 million pledge to the Children's Future Foundation. $50 million. That number felt wrong when I heard it. Too round, too perfect, too much like the kind of number someone uses when they're trying to look generous, but aren't actually giving anything away. I stand up. My legs are stiff from sitting all morning. I fold up my cardboard and tuck it behind a dumpster. I'll need it later. The security entrance is round the back, Loading dock area. I've scoped out this building before, back when I was still looking for office jobs. I used to imagine working here. Big corporate tower, good benefits. Now I'm sneaking in through the service entrance. I swipe the card. The light turns green. The door clicks open. I'm in. My heart is pounding so hard I can hear it in my ears. The hallway is empty. Gray walls, fluorescent lights. It smells like cleaning chemicals and old coffee. I find a stairwell and go down. Down is always safer. Nobody important works in the basement. 2 floors down, I find what I'm looking for. An IT storage room. The door is propped open with a broken chair. Inside there are old computer monitors, stacks of cables, and a desk with a working terminal. The screen is on. Someone left it logged in. I sit down and my hands move automatically. This is what I'm good at. This is who I really am. First, I check the news. I need to see that charity announcement again. There it is. Grant Morrison on stage at some fancy event. Perfect smile, perfect suit, perfect lie. I'm proud to announce that Morrison Holdings will be donating $50 million to the Children's Future Foundation. The crowd applauds. Flash photography. Everyone loves a generous millionaire. But something is wrong. I learned to trust my gut in auditing school. When a number feels wrong, it usually is wrong. $50 million. Where is that money actually coming from? I use the terminal to access the company's internal network. The security card gets me past the first firewall. My old knowledge of corporate IT systems gets me past the second. I find the general ledger. It takes me 20 minutes of searching, but then I see it. Transfer to the Janus Trust. Amount $50 million. Date 3 days ago. Authorization G. Morrison, CEO. Janus Trust, not the Children's Future Foundation. 2 different organizations. My hands are shaking again, but this time it's not rage, it's adrenaline. It's the feeling I used to get when I found a major discrepancy in an audit. I dig deeper. The Janus Trust is registered in the Cayman Islands. It's a shell company. And according to the corporate records I'm pulling up, it has only 2 beneficiaries. Grant Morrison Jr., age 7, Emma Morrison, age 5. His children.
Oh my God, I whisper. He's not donating anything. He's stealing $50 million from his own company. He's using a fake charity announcement as cover while he funnels shareholder money into a private trust fund for his kids. This is fraud. This is embezzlement. This is everything I used to hunt for in my old job. And I just found it by accident because a cruel CEO threw his security card at a homeless woman. Footsteps. I freeze. Heavy boots. Coming down the hallway. "Yeah, I'm checking the basement now," a voice says. Security guard. "Someone used a level 5 card at the service entrance. Nobody's supposed to be down here." I look around frantically. There's a ventilation shaft in the corner. The grate is loose. I grab it, pull it open, and squeeze inside just as the door opens. "It's IT storage," the guard says into his radio. "Looks empty. Probably a glitch." I hold my breath. The metal shaft is cold against my back. I can see him through the grate. He's looking right at the desk. The monitor is still on. The ledger is still open on the screen. He walks over. My heart is going to explode. He jiggles the mouse. The screen goes to sleep mode. He doesn't look at what was displayed. "Yeah, nothing down here. Must have been a system error." He leaves. I wait 5 full minutes before I move. When I finally crawl out of the shaft, my whole body is shaking. I need proof. Real proof. Not just ledger entries. I need documentation. I get back on the terminal and start searching the email server. This woman just uncovered a $50 million crime, and she's not done yet. If you're enjoying this story of justice and revenge, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Trust me, what she discovers next is even more shocking. I search for emails between Grant Morrison and his personal attorney. That's always where the truth lives.
Rich people love to put their crimes in writing as long as they think nobody's watching. It takes me 30 minutes, but I find it. From Grant Morrison to Richard Phelps, SQL. Subject, Trust Fund Transfer. Richard, everything's in place. The announcement goes live tomorrow. The board thinks I'm giving away $50 million to some kids' charity. Idiots. The real money's already in the Janus Trust under Grant Jr. and Emma's names. By the time the audit comes around, the charity announcement will be old news. Nobody questions a CEO who's giving back. The beauty of this is that it's technically legal. The company authorized a charitable donation. What they don't know is which charity. The Janus Trust is registered as a 501c3. Just happens to only benefit my kids. Make sure Sarah signs the transfer documents by Friday. She doesn't need to know the details. Just tell her it's estate planning. Grant. I read it twice. Then I read it again. Sarah, his wife. He's using her to move the money without her knowing what she's actually signing. I keep digging. From Richard Phelps, SQL, to Grant Morrison. Subject, Sarah. Grant, Sarah's getting suspicious. She asked me yesterday what the Janus Trust actually does. I told her it's a college fund for the kids, but she's not stupid. If she figures out you're moving $50 million of company money into a private account, she could expose everything. Worse, she could divorce you and take half. You need to keep her happy or keep her quiet. Richard. I sit back in the chair. This man, this CEO, this millionaire who mocked me on the street and threw trash at me like I was garbage. He's not just stealing from his company. He's lying to his wife. He's using his own children as cover for his crimes. And he thought nobody would ever find out. I pull out my phone. It's old, cracked screen, but it works. I take photos of every email, every ledger entry, every document I can find. Then I look for something more, something that proves this isn't just about money. I find it in an email from 3 weeks ago. From Grant Morrison to Michael Chen, PR Director. Michael, I need you to stage something for me. Something that makes me look charitable in a raw, unscripted way. I'm thinking a public gesture, something that'll go viral. Maybe throw some cash at a homeless person? Make sure cameras are rolling. I want people to see me as a man of the people. Let me know what you think. Grant. My vision goes red. The fake check, the laughter, the public humiliation. It wasn't random cruelty. It was staged. It was calculated. He wanted to mock a homeless woman on camera to make himself look good later. I bet he has a video crew following him. I bet that whole scene is going to show up in some PR campaign. CEO Grant Morrison's lighthearted moment with the community. But he made one mistake. He chose me. And he dropped his security card. I download everything onto a USB drive I find in a desk drawer. 47 emails, 6 ledger files, 3 corporate registration documents. Everything I need to destroy him. But I can't go to the police. I know how this works. A homeless woman walks into a police station with accusations against a millionaire CEO. They'll laugh at me the same way Grant did. They'll think I'm crazy. They'll probably arrest me for trespassing. No, I need someone who will actually listen. I need a journalist. I search online for investigative reporters in the city. There's one name that keeps coming up. David Chen. He broke the story about the mayor's corruption scandal last year. He specializes in financial crimes. He doesn't care if you're rich or powerful. If you're dirty, he'll expose you. I find his contact form on the newspaper's website. I type carefully. Mr. Chen, my name is Shay Coleman. I'm a former auditor. I have evidence that Grant Morrison, CEO of Morrison Holdings, is embezzling $50 million from his company using a fake charity announcement as cover while he funnels shareholder money into a private trust fund for his kids. I know this sounds crazy. I know you probably get 100 emails like this every day, but I have documentation. I have emails. I have ledger entries. I have everything you need to prove this story. If you're interested, meet me at the public library on 5th Street tomorrow at noon. I'll be in the computer section. I'll be wearing a blue coat. Please, I need your help. Nobody else will listen. Shay Coleman. I hit send. Then I erase my browser history, wipe the terminal, and get out of that building as fast as I can. Shay just risked everything to expose a CEO's crimes, but will anyone believe a homeless woman? Keep watching to find out what happens next, and don't forget to hit that like button if you're rooting for her. Subscribe to the channel for more stories of justice and revenge.
The next morning, I'm at the library at 11:30. Early. I need to see him before he sees me. I wash up in the library bathroom. My reflection in the mirror is rough. I haven't had a real shower in a week. My hair is a mess. My coat has stains. But my eyes are clear. My mind is sharp. I'm not just a homeless woman anymore. I'm a whistleblower. I sit at a computer terminal in the back corner. I have the USB drive in my pocket. Every few minutes, I check the entrance. At exactly noon, a man walks in. Asian guy, mid-30s, nice jacket. He's carrying a leather bag and looking around like he's searching for someone. David Chin. I stand up slowly. Our eyes meet. He walks over. Shay Coleman, he asks quietly. I nod. He sits down across from me. He's studying my face. I can see the doubt in his eyes. He's thinking the same thing everyone else thinks when they see me. Homeless, probably mentally ill, probably wasting my time. Mr. Chen, I say, thank you for coming. Call me David, he says. Your email was, interesting. But I have to be honest, I get a lot of tips. Most of them don't pan out. What makes you think Grant Morrison is committing fraud? I pull out the USB drive and set it on the table between us. Because I have his emails. I have his ledger entries. I have documentation of a $50 million transfer to a shell company called the Janus Trust. And I have proof that he's lying to his wife, his board, and the public. David picks up the USB drive. He's still skeptical. How did you get this? He asks. I used to be an auditor, I say. I know how to read corporate documents. I know what fraud looks like. And 3 days ago, Grant Morrison accidentally gave me his level 5 security card. David's eyebrows go up. He gave you his security card? He threw it at me, along with a fake $10 million check. He thought it was funny. He mocked me on the street because I'm homeless. But he didn't realize he'd just given me access to everything. David is staring at me now, really looking at me. Not seeing a homeless woman anymore, seeing a source. Can I look at this? He asks, holding up the USB drive. That's why I'm here. He pulls out a laptop and plugs in the drive. I watch his face as he reads. His expression changes from skeptical to focused to shocked. Holy, he whispers. This is real. I know. These emails are... He looks up at me. Shay, this is a $50 million embezzlement scheme. This is front page news. This is career-ending stuff. That's what I'm counting on, I say. David keeps reading. He's clicking through files, taking notes. His journalist brain is working overtime. The Janus Trust, registered as a charity, but the only beneficiaries are his kids. That's legal gray area, but combined with these emails, he looks at me. He's screwed. Good. David closes the laptop. Okay, here's what I need. I need to verify everything on this drive. I need to contact Morrison Holdings board members. I need to get a statement from Grant Morrison himself, though I doubt he'll give me one. This is going to take me at least a week to... No, I interrupt. No? We don't have a week, I say. Grant is throwing a charity gala in 4 days. He's going to publicly announce the $50 million pledge at the event. It's going to be live streamed. Every news outlet in the city will be there. If we wait a week, he'll have even more time to cover his tracks. David leans back in his chair. You want me to drop this story during his charity gala? I want you to drop this story 30 minutes before his charity gala. I want every person in that room to know what he really is before he can say a single word. I want maximum impact. I want him arrested on stage." David is quiet for a long moment. Then he smiles. "You're not just a whistleblower. You're out for blood." He threw a fake check at me like I was garbage. He mocked me in front of dozens of people. He used me as a prop for his PR campaign, and he's stealing $50 million while lying to everyone around him. Yeah, I'm out for blood. David nods slowly. "Okay, but I need your help. I need you to walk me through every document on this drive. I need to understand the timeline, and I need to know if you're willing to go on the record as the source." I hesitate. If I go on the record, everyone would know I'm homeless. Everyone would know I broke into his building. I could get in trouble. "You could," David admits, "but you'd also be a hero. You'd be the woman who took down a corrupt CEO. And honestly, the fact that you're homeless makes the story even more powerful. Millionaire mocks homeless woman, then she discovers his crimes and brings him down. That's a hell of a headline." I think about it. I think about Grant's laugh. I think about my mom dying while I went broke paying for her care. I think about every rich person who ever looked at me like I was invisible. Okay, I'll go on the record. But I'm staying anonymous until the story drops. I don't want him to know I'm coming. "Deal," David says. He extends his hand. "Let's ruin this guy's life." I shake his hand. Shay and David are now working together to expose Grant's crimes. But will they be able to pull it off before the charity gala? Keep watching to see how this all goes down, and if you're loving this story, make sure you subscribe to the channel because the ending is shocking.
For the next 3 days, I work with David nonstop. We meet at the library every morning. He asks questions, I answer them. He cross-references every email, every ledger entry, every transaction. He contacts members of the Morrison Holdings board, anonymously, carefully. He confirms that none of them knew about the Janus Trust. He confirms that they all believed the money was going to the Children's Future Foundation. He contacts the foundation itself. They have no record of any $50 million pledge. Everything checks out. The story is airtight. On the morning of the gala, David publishes a preview on the newspaper's website. Just a teaser. Breaking. Morrison Holdings CEO under investigation for alleged fraud. Full story coming soon. Within an hour, the company's stock starts dropping. Within 2 hours, Grant Morrison's lawyer calls David. David puts the call on speaker so I can hear. "Mr. Chen," the lawyer says. His voice is smooth, threatening. "I'm calling on behalf of Mr. Morrison. We've seen your article preview. We want to make it very clear that any publication of false or defamatory claims about Mr. Morrison will result in immediate legal action." "I don't publish false claims," David says calmly. "Everything in my article is backed by documentation." "What documentation?" the lawyer snaps. "Emails between Mr. Morrison and yourself, actually, discussing the transfer of $50 million to the Janus Trust, a shell company benefiting Mr. Morrison's children, not the Children's Future Foundation." Silence on the other end of the line. Then, "Where did you get those emails?" "A source." "Who?" "I don't reveal my sources," David says. "But I'll tell you this. Your client made a mistake. He mocked the wrong person, and now everything he tried to hide is about to become very, very public." The lawyer hangs up. David looks at me. He's panicking. "Good," I say. That evening, I'm back at my usual street corner. But I'm not asking for money. I'm watching. Morrison Holdings Tower is lit up like a Christmas tree. Limos and expensive cars are pulling up to the front entrance. Men in tuxedos, women in gowns. This is the charity gala. This is where Grant Morrison planned to announce his fake $50 million pledge. I pull out my cracked phone. David's article goes live in 10 minutes. I'm wearing my blue coat.
The same one I was wearing when Grant threw his security card at me. I want him to recognize me if he sees me, but he won't see me, not yet. My phone buzzes. It's a text from David. Story is live in 5 minutes. I added your statement at the end. Are you ready? I text back. Ready. 5 minutes feels like 5 hours. Then my phone lights up with a notification. Breaking news. Millionaire CEO Grant Morrison accused of embezzling $50 million using fake charity. Homeless woman exposes scheme. I click the article. David's writing is perfect, clear, damning, impossible to ignore. He includes photos of the emails, screenshots of the ledger, proof of the Janus Trust. And at the end, he includes my statement. Grant Morrison threw a fake check at me because he thought I was worthless. He thought I was too broken, too invisible, too homeless to matter. But I'm also a trained auditor. And when he accidentally dropped his security card, I used it to find the truth. He's not a generous CEO, he's a thief, and I'm making sure everyone knows it. Shay, former senior auditor. My phone starts buzzing with news alerts. The story is spreading, fast. I stand up and start walking toward the tower. Inside the ballroom, the gala is in full swing. I can see it through the windows. Chandeliers, open bar, a stage with a podium. Grant Morrison is on stage. He's wearing a perfect tuxedo, perfect smile. He's talking to the crowd, warming them up for his big announcement. But people are looking at their phones. Whispers are spreading through the room. Someone shows their phone to someone else. Eyes go wide. Grant doesn't notice yet. He's too focused on his speech. Ladies and gentlemen, he says into the microphone, tonight, I'm honored to announce that Morrison Holdings will be donating $50 million to help children in need. Grant, someone shouts from the crowd, is it true you embezzled that money? Grant freezes. What? More people are pulling out their phones. The whispers turn into loud conversations. His PR director rushes onto the stage and whispers something in his ear. Grant's face goes pale. He pulls out his own phone. He reads something. His hands start shaking. The giant screen behind him, the one that's supposed to be showing graphics about the charity, suddenly switches to a live news feed. CNN breaking. CEO Grant Morrison accused of $50 million fraud by homeless woman he mocked. The ballroom erupts. People are shouting questions. Cameras are flashing. Grant is standing frozen at the podium, staring at the screen. And then, the doors at the back of the ballroom open. Police officers walk in. 6 of them, led by a detective in a suit. Grant Morrison, you're under arrest for embezzlement and fraud. The room goes silent. Grant looks at the police. He looks at the crowd. He looks at the screen. This is a mistake, he stammers. I didn't... You have the right to remain silent. They handcuff him on stage, in front of everyone, in front of the cameras that are live streaming to thousands of people. And then, from the back of the ballroom, a woman stands up. Sarah Morrison, Grant's wife. She walks slowly to the stage. She's elegant, composed, furious. Grant, she says into a microphone someone hands her. I just read the article. I just learned what you did, what you used me for. Grant's eyes go wide. Sarah, please. I'm filing for divorce, she says clearly. I'm protecting my children from you, and I'm cooperating fully with the investigation. The crowd gasps. Someone in the audience starts clapping. Then more people join in. Within seconds, the entire ballroom is applauding Sarah while her husband is being led away in handcuffs. I'm standing outside, watching through the window, and I'm smiling.
3 months later. I'm sitting in a conference room on the 42nd floor of a building I never thought I'd be inside. The view overlooks the entire city. I can see Morrison Holdings Tower from here. It looks smaller than I remember. Across from me are 3 lawyers and a representative from the Securities and Exchange Commission. Ms. Coleman, the SEC representative says, thanks to your evidence, we've been able to recover 48 of the $50 million that Mr. Morrison attempted to embezzle. The other $2 million was spent on legal fees and transfers, but the bulk of the money is being returned to Morrison Holdings shareholders. I nod. I already knew this. David's been keeping me updated on everything. As a whistleblower, the representative continues, you're entitled to a reward. The SEC offers between 10 and 30% of recovered funds in cases like this. I do the math in my head. 10% of $48 million is $4.8 million, the lawyer says, sliding a document across the table. We're awarding you the full 10%. If you'll sign here, the money will be transferred to your account within 30 days. My hands shake as I pick up the pen. $4.8 million. I was homeless 3 months ago. I was sitting on a cardboard mat wondering if I'd survive the winter. Now I'm a multi-millionaire. I sign the document. 2 weeks after that, I'm sitting in another office. This one belongs to Patterson & Associates, my old firm, the place that fired me while I was burying my mother. But I'm not here as an employee. I'm here as a consultant. Miss Coleman, the managing partner says. He's the same man who refused to fight for me when HR let me go. He looks nervous now. We've been following your case. What you did, exposing Grant Morrison, that took incredible skill. The kind of skill we value here at Patterson. I remember, I say coldly. I used to work here. He clears his throat. Yes, and we realize now that we made a mistake. We should have fought harder to keep you. We'd like to offer you a position. Senior auditor, full benefits, salary negotiable. I lean back in my chair. 3 months ago, I would have cried with relief at this offer. Now? No, I say. He blinks. No? I'm starting my own firm. Coleman Forensic Auditing. I'm going to specialize in finding fraud. Corporate fraud. The kind that people like Grant Morrison think they can hide. And I'm going to make sure companies like Morrison Holdings never get away with it again. I stand up. But thank you for the offer. It's nice to know you finally think I'm valuable. I walk out. 6 months after the gala, I'm standing in front of a brand new office. Glass doors, my name on the sign. Coleman Forensic Auditing. I hired 3 people already. All of them are former auditors who got pushed out of their jobs for reasons that had nothing to do with their skills. All of them are hungry. All of them are brilliant. We already have 5 clients. David Chen wrote a follow-up article about me last month. It went viral. Now companies are reaching out, asking me to audit their books. They want to prove they're clean. They want to avoid becoming the next Grant Morrison. I'm wearing a suit now, professional, pressed. I bought it with my own money. But I still keep that blue coat in my office, the one I was wearing when Grant threw his security card at me. I keep it as a reminder. Never forget where you came from. Never forget who tried to destroy you. Never forget that you won. Grant Morrison is in prison, federal prison. He got 12 years for embezzlement and fraud. His lawyer tried to cut a deal, but the evidence was too strong. My evidence. Sarah Morrison divorced him and took custody of the children. She also testified against him in court. She's rebuilding her life now. She reached out to me last month to thank me. You saved my kids from growing up thinking his behavior was normal. You saved me from being an accessory to his crimes. Thank you. I told her she didn't need to thank me, but she insisted on making a donation to my new foundation, the Shay Coleman Foundation for Financial Literacy. We teach low-income communities how to read contracts, understand credit, and protect themselves from predatory lending and corporate fraud. We help people who looked like I used to look, people the world tries to ignore. We make sure they're never invisible again. 1 year after the gala, I'm walking down the same street where Grant threw that fake check at me. The corner where I used to sit is empty now. Someone else might be there tomorrow, someone else who needs help. I stop and look at the spot. My cardboard mat is gone. The city cleaned it up months ago. But I remember. I remember the cold, the hunger, the shame. I remember Grant's laugh. I remember thinking I was worthless. And then I remembered proving him wrong. I pull out my phone and text David. Want to get coffee? I have a new case I think you'll be interested in. He texts back immediately. Always. Another corrupt CEO? I smile. Millionaire pharmaceutical exec. I think he's lying about his company's drug trial results. Could be huge. I'm in. Let's ruin another rich guy's day. I put my phone away and keep walking. The city looks different now. Not because it changed, because I did. I'm not a homeless woman anymore. I'm not a victim anymore. I'm the person that CEOs like Grant Morrison should be afraid of. I'm the one who finds the truth, and I always will. Grant Morrison tried to humiliate a homeless woman with a fake check, but she used his own arrogance against him and discovered a $50 million fraud scheme. She didn't just survive, she won. She became a multi-millionaire whistleblower, started her own company, and now hunts down corrupt CEOs for a living. If you love this story of justice, revenge, and an underdog triumph, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel for more incredible true crime and revenge stories. Drop a comment below and tell us, what would you have done with Grant's security card?